Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. How are you today? We are basically going to be doing some farm chores. Very basic, nothing really exciting, but feel free to join me if you want. So long time no see. It's Thursday and Mike and I got back from our weekend away together on Sunday night. And I'd planned on filming on Monday, but it was really hot for the last 3 days and too hot to be outside working. So things continued as normal. Did harvesting for the CSA, which I didn't think I was going to have enough to make 8 bouquets, and I did, and they look really pretty. So I'm super excited about that. Hopefully the customers like them. But we're in this weird space right now on the farm where there's lots of work to do, but it's not really the time to do it yet. So to explain, I need to start flipping the beds to get ready for fall planting of the spring crops. But I don't want to set up any beds yet, take out anything, and leave bare soil. So all I'm going to do today is use the hedge trimmer to get down all the thistles. And then I'll probably, if I have time, because another short window today to get stuff done, I'm going to try to get the pollinator patch weeded, because that's got some scary thistles in it and some things that are about to go to seed. So basically out here, I'm just battling weeds at this point because I haven't even started the seeds yet. That's next week for all of the stuff that's going to go in here in October. And so I don't want to tear out these beds, make them and have them just sitting there with nothing growing in them to feed the soil life. So since all the stuff that's here, even though it's kind of past its due date in terms of harvestability, it's still growing and it's still feeding the soil. So it's going to stay like that. Mostly I want to keep on top of the weeds so that it makes it easier for us to flip the beds come fall. Now, I had wanted to get the new raised beds built this week, but when the temperatures are almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's just not healthy to be out working in that. And so because we still have time, I've opted to wait until hopefully this coming week we'll have some cooler temperatures. It's beautiful right now, but it's going to get hot again today. So yeah, that's the plan. And the front garden at home is coming along. The beets and the carrots they're starting to germinate, but I'm already getting predation. So I cloached them, but I know that those wire cloches, small rodents can fit right through there. So I have on order some insect netting, which I've never used before, but I am going to use this year because I want to make sure my brassicas don't get eaten alive by things. So this year, when I plant, I'm going to fortify all the stuff with insect netting, which even though rodents can eat through, and they will, I'm hoping that will deter them for a little while and continue to set traps and stuff like that. So I would really like a fall garden this year. Okay, I'm going to get started on this. Basically, it's like hedge trimming. It's a hedge trimmer attachment because I think I've said before, the string trimmer doesn't really work with these thick thistles. It just takes out the string, and then things fly up and get all over you. And so the nice thing about this hedge trimmer attachment is everything just lays down on the ground and I don't get covered in thistles, spines and things. So it's a lot nicer job. All right, I'm gonna pop on a book and start clearing things up. Hopefully it will look a lot better by the end of this video. slight improvement. At least I can walk through here now, but definitely didn't get rid of everything. One of the reasons I use that hedge trimming attachment instead of the string trimmer is that that is a single plant. It has a taproot that's about 1 foot deep, and it's all thorns and spines. And they are all through here. So this bed is going to be under silage tarp starting probably in November, depending on when the mums are done. We'll take all the mums out. We will pull up the landscape fabric and the irrigation. We'll remake the beds with amendments and compost, and then we'll drag this giant silage tarp over. It's a 50 by 100, and cover everything that we possibly can here so that we get lots and lots of dead weeds under it, because it'll be under silage until at least March, maybe April. So that's the plan for here. So basically I'm just trying to limp these beds along until it's time to put them to sleep for a couple months. So then the only thing that will be growing out here will be the tulips in that raised bed that's already built and protected. As I was working on that, around that bed to get weeds down, mice were crawling in and out from underneath. Now they can't get into the bed because of the hardware cloth, but yeah, they're just everywhere out here, everywhere. So I'm gonna have to do a really concerted effort to try to battle these guys over the next month or so that when we put the fall stuff in the ground, it can actually make it, because when they're going at small seedlings, it's really challenging for them. Okay, the other thing, this also is rodent related. So as you can see, lots and lots of holes. Now this is my fault, because when I built this bed, I lined it with chicken wire. I don't know what I was thinking. Chicken wire instead of 1/4-inch hardware cloth. Mice can squeeze through chicken wire, no problem. And so the plan for this bed is probably in October. I don't want it to go too late into our rainy season, because then the tubers will suffer. We'll cut all the dahlias down, dig up and label every tuber, obviously take down all the fencing and everything. And then I'll lay a tarp over here on the side. We'll scoop out all of the soil onto that tarp so we can save it. And then build basically a cage barrier with wood sides and 1/4-inch hardware cloth on the bottom. Then we will replace all the soil, put the dahlia tubers back in and labeled, and then cover with thick layer of compost as well as a very thick layer of mulch, and they will overwinter in here. And hopefully by spring, they'll come up, not spring, but late spring, early summer, they'll do what they're supposed to do when they're perennial, which is come up a little earlier, and we won't have any predation because we will have built a nice barricade. So apparently the field mice, which is so bizarre because they can climb up lots of things, but the extension offices say that a side barrier of 12 inches is actually enough to deter them, which is crazy to me. But I am going to cover this whole bed over the winter with more hardware cloth, just like I'm doing at the tulips, because that way, in case they do get up and run around on top of the bed, they won't be able to get into it. And then that should protect the dahlias over winter, because the whole point of this bed is for it to be since we are in zone 9B, for them to be perennial, so I don't have to dig them up every winter, all that stuff. I know people down in zones as low as 6 who are overwintering dahlias, and because they're perennializing them, they get them at least a month earlier every year than everybody else who has to plant the tubers, dig and plant. So, okay, the other thing I decided on is that the raised beds that we're going to build, hopefully starting tomorrow, are actually going to go over here. Under the silage tarp, it's been under silage for 8 months maybe. So there's nothing under here but bare dirt, which is great. We're going to use the tiller and level out 2 areas that we want for beds, so it'll be cut into the hillside a little bit. It's not too bad here. And we'll build our raised beds with the hardware cloth bottoms and put 2 beds here, nice long beds here, because this area here, which is, although flatter, this is the area I originally wanted to put like a mini hoop house to be like a staging area to bring out seedlings and stuff and let them chill while I was doing other stuff. Because, you know, it's almost 11 a.m. and it's still in shade because of this gorgeous oak tree. So I think it just makes more sense to put the growing beds in direct sun. I mean, this area is sunny from sunrise to sunset. So that's what we need for growing good flowers. Okay, and then the last place that I tackled, and I don't think the camera got it because I think the battery died, was this edge of this bed here. Again, so many plants with multiple thick stems and deep tap roots. So I was able to knock it down, but those roots are still in there. So the plan is, just like the rest of the farm, around the beds, extending out 18 to 24 inches, we're going to till, get up all these roots and everything, and then put down cardboard and a thick layer of wood chips. And so the bed tops will be mulched, but so will all of the pathways. And that has been working. So here where we've mulched, I don't even think I put cardboard down on this one. It's just really knocked the weeds back, which has been fantastic. Same thing here. This one has cardboard, but again, no weeds in the pathways. And that's really important because it's pretty easy to weed the beds. Once they become established, the plants themselves block out most of the weeds, but the pathways get overgrown and then they grow into the beds. And so we'll basically be creating these little boxes around all of our beds of cardboard and wood chips. That means getting another huge shipment of wood chips in addition to a huge shipment of compost. So I need to make those calculations to figure out how much we need. But that's all the work that's coming up. I don't want to till and put the cardboard and everything down yet until we flip the beds, because when we flip the beds, we need to remake them for size. And if we have the pathways finished, that'll be a little harder to do. So that's the plan. All right, well, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow out here. It's going to be a cooler day than today, and I'm hoping in the morning we can get those raised beds built. Mike and Dylan, I think, will be coming with me. Aiden's in school, and with the three of us, we could probably get those beds completely built, and then I could call for compost. The only thing is, if I do that, then it's just sitting here. There's always, it's like a timing thing, right? Because where I get the compost, that's awesome. They basically, if I order it, they'll deliver it within like 2 days. Sometimes the next day. It just depends on their delivery drivers and what they've already got scheduled. And so I want to order it when I'm ready for it, and I'm not really ready for it yet. So those beds might sit there empty, but they'll be on top of cardboard, a thick layer of cardboard. And so I'm not too worried about anything growing into them. And there's no reason for rodents to be doing anything in there because there's nothing growing in there. So hopefully all that will be fine. They can just hang out until I'm ready to fill them with compost and plant for spring. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I know that wasn't much of a video, but I just wanted to check in. Some days are like that. Some days it's just chores and nothing exciting. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully tomorrow. Bye.